Ye cannot serve two masters. Why is that? Because there's only one intelligence, one presence, one power that can act, and that is the presence of God acting in me. When I turn to the world of outer manifestations and give all kinds of expressions and appearances power, I am attempting to serve a false usurping master. My ability to lift my hand and the life flowing through the nervous system of my outer form is God in action.
Fun. I want to thank you, Rich, for inviting me on the show. I want to acknowledge I am in me, I am in you, and the I am of all the listening audience who are part of this training program. So I don't come alone. I come on the shoulders and the backs of our ancestors, shoulders and backs of our ascended masters, shoulders and backs of angels and enlightened beings. So I want to acknowledge that Kundalini will be activated, initiated, accelerated when we, as a serious student, learn the forgotten science and art of forgiveness.
Hmm. Okay.
This is the cornerstone. The
Okay.
cornerstone of Kundalini activation is the science and art of forgiveness. Think of um, Unforgiven. And they even had a movie, Clint Eastwood and Morgan Freeman, Unforgiven. But think of resentment. Sometimes you might hear sisters say, I'm keeping score. I don't forget nothing. I remember everything. These are the bricks that hold the basket earthbound, the soul body earthbound, and the Kundalini locked in its 3.5 rotations at the base of the spine. So, a serious student of awakening to love supreme must first take the awareness that everything in their life experience is a culmination of not only their past lives, but also their present life. So that's why I really love embracing our African Hawaiian kahuna system called Ho'oponopono. That's saying, yes, you are a goddess. Yes, you are a god. Now take responsibility that everything you've created intentionally or unintentionally in this life and before, you may clean the canvas with 4 simple sentences. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. And if the audience, the students would actually muscle test a weight, like something like a 25 or 45-pound weight, when they say that sincerely from their heart, the weight becomes lighter. And I actually have a weight sitting right here next to me with that I can drag over. And I'm just going to try lifting, have some weight. And then I say to everybody in my past lives, I forgive everyone in my past lives. And I ask everybody in my past lives to please forgive me because I don't remember. Everyone in this life, I forgive. And I ask everybody humbly on one knee to please forgive me. Brother Rich, I just tried lifting the weight after saying that, and the weight felt half the weight it did before. So when we practice the science and art of forgiveness, we loosen the tight coil of the goddess energy of the Kundalini, which is 3.5 rotations. We loosen it so that it may flow freely because the cornerstone of Kundalini activation, as I said, is forgiving. And you don't empower another person when you forgive, regardless of how painful it may be. You're releasing your own locked pain that is suppressing your heart bliss, your heartgasms, your blissgasms, your ecstasy, your nirvana from all the cells, chakras, nadis, or pressure points within the body. So giving forgiveness frees up and allows the energy to flow, because Kundalini activation is truly a psychedelic experience. It is truly a psychedelic experience. Um, it activates the DMT within your body. Kundalini activation, that may you may experience ecstasy. And the reason I say family practice the art and science of forgiveness is because Kundalini is like punching the turbocharged muscle car with super fuel. And if you have an unresolved emotional memory that you have not released, it will bend, Kundalini will bend, twist, and scorch your chakras that have the unresolved trauma in the blades of the chakras. So if you're not clean, if you're not as sincere as it says in the Bible, like to be reborn into the kingdom of heaven, you have to be a child again. A child doesn't hold trauma memories, it just forgives and it moves in the moment.
Mm.
You have to breathe deep. Women have to connect into their womb. From the mental tomb to the crystal womb, our sisters have to move from. Steve Harvey gave the worst education in that book. Think like a man, act like a woman. No, my sisters, you have to feel like a woman so you can transmutate your man and the community. Because in the system that brought forth the coin Kundalini, women force magic energy is known as Shakti. That is an energy that's not found in the monkey mind between the ears and behind the eyes. This is the energy from the crystal womb, Kundalini, in the hips that a woman has. It's called Shakti. You know, even Erica Badu is known for her Shakti initiation that she has shared when her brother lovers connected or plugged into her socket, because the feminine principle is Kundalini, is Tantra. Just think, sisters, that your yoni is a wall socket full of electricity, full of wattage, and full of high voltage. However, if you want to play victim as an advanced sister, I just saw a video shared it with you, brother Rich. You know, women in their 20s and 30s, they got coochie, and then in women in their 40s, they got punani. I'm just going to use those terms because you can't uh, have drama. Coochie has drama. Yoni has maturity and goddess connections for initiation. A woman truly understanding her power, her Shakti, she elevates the man when he plugs in to her voltage, her wattage. And a man who's been practicing deep breathing exercises, seminal retention, he is able to hold the voltage internally instead of squirting like a simp, like a chump who loses his battery acid with minor excitation. Our liquid crystal, my brothers, is the literal fluid that lubricates and promotes Kundalini rise up the spine. And at the base of the spine, it's sexual energy. But as it goes past each chakra, it is tuned to another form of energy. Just as they said in the teachings of Tantra, spiritual energy materialized is sexual energy. Sexual energy cultivated becomes spiritual power and light. So, what makes it easier, my family, with Kundalini activation is realizing the basic sacred geometry of our nature. And Brother Rich, can I share that a little bit about sacred geometry on this
Oh, definitely,
platform?
my brother. Definitely.
Okay. Family, if you look at a crystal, and I'm going to share with it right here, a crystal is six sided. You have six sides to a crystal. So does melanin. Melanin is six sided. So is carbon. Carbon is six sided. That's where you have superconductors. They're all six sided. DMT is six sided. DMT, dimethyltryptamine. That is the elevation, six sided. Alkaline water, six sided. Honeycomb, six sided. Snowflakes, six sided. So, what will help in our evolution, besides wearing a crystal on our chest, because stress causes the six-sided nature of our being. Aging is when the six-sided hexagonal molecular shape starts to collapse due to environmental toxins or social trauma or relationship trauma, and bliss fills, expands so that we are crystalline, symmetrical, in hexagonal, six-sided placement, so Kundalini can travel up the pathways without effort and without getting diverted. So if you look, family, at the chakras, you will see that many of them are three-sided, six-sided, and then mathematically increases as you go up the spine. So all who are truly sincere and focused, I highly recommend that you get a hold of a crystal and allow that morphic resonance from the crystal assist the vibratory rate of all your cells to align back to its hexagonal design. You are hexagonally designed. So you can, what I created was, I call them Enoch Metatron magnets. And these are magnets that are six sided so that the hexagonal nature of the blood can be restored, because the body has keyhole memories in the cells, in the nucleus, in your soul, so that when you wear a crystal, when you have magnets placed on the crystal, and I'm acknowledging our brother Enoch, the Ethiopian, because this is called Metatron technology. This is straight out of ancient Ethiopia. Look up Metatron's cube, family, and meditate on Metatron's cube. Metatron's cube is a portal, a geometrical portal that will help align your through your eyes, your mind, your heart, your chakras for acceleration and activation of your Kundalini energy. Let's talk about Kundalini for a moment. Kundalini is a goddess energy, according to the ancient ones. It looks like three and a half rotations. And I'm going to show in the camera. You can make this, even my brothers and sisters, you can make this with a pair of uh, needle nose pliers, a coil of three and a half rotations. This is what Kundalini looks like at the base of the spine in the sacrum. And with deep breathing, with happiness, with bliss, the Kundalini may rise. And you want it to go up and travel what is known as the microcosmic orbit, and then recirculate back into the body. So all of your energy, all of your cells, all of your tissues, all of your organs accelerate towards the velocity of love, because love is the only reality. When we speak of Kundalini activation, we're speaking of reaching the velocity of love and bliss. It is not a mental state, it is a state of electrical, orgasmic ecstasy is known as samadhi, is also known as nirvana, is known as ecstasy. And I'm not talking about the chemicals, ecstasy. I'm
Mm.
talking about being in a state of bliss, moment by moment, as we were hopefully in a healthy childhood. We are in a state of bliss. And in that bliss, the Kundalini opens up, and then the subtle bodies, the light body, you begin to practice many miracles. You may notice many miracles, less prone to judgment, creativity goes through the roof. All of this is inside of each of us. And that is what Kundalini is all about. It's about awakening to the velocity, to the paradigm of love. And if you was to see the sacred geometry of love and multi-dimensional intergalactic bliss, look into seeing what Metatron's cube looks like. This is the sacred geometry of Kundalini activation, elevation into love's ecstasy, love's knowledge, and love's power. How's that, Brother Rich?
Oh, brother, that's amazing, man. That is amazing.
Now, I just want to share a little bit more. Um, Family, getting back to sacred geometry. This is what I've been doing, Brother Rich and family, for the last several months since spring. I actually, from doing microdosing of grandma ayahuasca, that's a path. It's not totally necessary for everybody, but entheogens such as ayahuasca, mushrooms, bufo, um, what they allow is coming out of the beta brain wave of 14 to 28 cycles a second. It takes you into alpha and then into theta, and in the right amount, you go into delta. Delta is 1 to 4 cycles a second. Theta, I believe, is from 4 to 7, and alpha is 7 to 14 cycles per second. Now, they also speak of higher frequencies, but for now, I'm just going to stick with that because doing for myself as a product developer, I asked um, Ascended Masters to assist me. And you can call on Ascended Masters, my brothers and sisters. We have a rich heritage of Ascended Masters. That means beings who have come into perfect harmony with the stream of the ocean of love and ecstasy that all the planets float in. And you have some mentioned in your Bible. You have Melchizedek. He was he came. He wasn't born through a woman. He materialized on the physical realm, and then he ascended. So did Enoch. So did Elijah. And then you hear of them speaking of Yeshua or Jesus. However, understand that in Buddhism, it's called the rainbow body. The rainbow body is after you activate the Kundalini, you don't think, speak anything less than love for 7 years, and your physical body accelerates to the velocity of love until you literally vaporize back into the sea of love. And the Buddhist monks have documented, photographed, videotaped individuals who practice cultivating the rainbow body after Kundalini's activated, and they learn to control their thoughts, their spoken words, and for 7 years speak nothing other than words of love and encouragement. And their physical body literally dematerializes and accelerates into the original clay of light. That is what is, once the Kundalini is activated, the next thing is developing and cultivating the rainbow body. That's the luminous body of light. And they give you symbols and examples of that, like in the last movie, Star Wars. Not the last one, but the one before that, where Luke Skywalker was holding the lightsaber and Kylo Ren was stabbing him with it, and it was just going through him. And Luke Skywalker said, "See you around, kid," and he vaporized. This is based on Buddhist texts of cultivating the rainbow body, speaking nothing but love and encouragement for 7 years. And that's why also diet's important, because if you're consuming meats and the emotional bodies of animals who go through trauma, pain, and fear, after you eat the flesh, whether it's fish or chicken or lamb, all these um, two and four-legged beings, flying creatures and creatures of the sea, they have emotional bodies. And when you consume their flesh, you consume their emotional body, and it has a lower velocity than the spirit of your Kundalini, the energy of your Kundalini. So you want to cleanse your body so that you can sustain the high voltage, the high wattage, the high amperage. It's almost like somebody turns on a lightning storm within your body, because within your body, you already have 1 trillion volts. But when you have your Kundalini stimulated, it becomes hundreds of trillions of volts. But it can't go through oxtail. It can't go through 100. It'll burn. It will scorch the flesh and the emotional bodies of earthbound creatures when you're working on the science of ascension. So that's something to be mindful of. This is a gradual cultivation. And family, those of you who are studying, get the book called Initiation by Elizabeth Hankh. And in the book Initiation, she takes classes in the mystery school with Ptahotep. And the thing that happened to her was she had not cultivated her sexual chakra. She wanted to activate her spiritual chakras, but her sexual chakra was not developed. And when she met a man and he activated her sexual chakra, it caused her Kundalini to slam back from the higher realms of her crown chakra, third eye, heart chakra, into her uninitiated sex chakra, and it burned her chakras. And she explained in the book Initiation, it took several dozen lifetimes to repair all of her chakras. And when she incarnated into a spacesuit back in the 1950s, she had the book written called Initiation. So your chakra system is something you want to cultivate, you want to be gentle with, because you don't want it damaged by extreme emotions. You want it to be cultivated like a beautiful sacred plant. Um, how's that so far, Brother Rich?
It's amazing, man. Definitely a big help. Let me ask you, what, being you keep stressing that Kundalini is a goddess energy,
Yes.
that mean for men that engage in that practice uh raising their Kundalini or Kundalini meditation? How is this goddess energy affecting a masculine brother?
Oh, okay. Well, let me put it in a Western context. Kundalini is like, it's threefold. They say in India, goddess, but as a student of magnetism, it's really the Trinity. It is a combination of South Pole, North Pole, and the attraction between the South and the North Pole, which people call love. And that's, in the metaphysical terms, this love between Father God and Mother God is called Christ or Christos, meaning crystallized love. Here we are with crystals again. Christos is a Greek term meaning crystallized love. And the difference between a rock and a crystal, a rock is disorganized on the molecular level, and a crystal is organized on a molecular level repetitiously in a hexagonal arrangement to make a beautiful quartz crystal. So those of us who want to accelerate our threefold Kundalini energy, the masculine, the South Pole is called Inga, I think it's Inga, Pangala, and Ida in the Hindu system. But it's basically masculine, feminine, and between the masculine and feminine is that third creative force called love. And that's the love energy that attracts the masculine and feminine. So in us men, we have the masculine energy feels like heat as it rises. The feminine energy feels cool. And in between the coil, they look like the caduceus, is the actual Kundalini energy that's spinning. That's the love energy that rises the caduceus. So it always shows the wings being spread at the top of the caduceus, but the coiling is around the spine, and that's the love energy. But the love energy is the interplay between the masculine and the feminine. So that's why it's so important when you're getting into Kundalini activation, you deal with Tantra, the polarities of the masculine and the feminine. And also, it goes into high forms of yoga known as, for men, Yoni Puja. Yoni Puja means the worship of the goddess essence of the Yoni, symbolically and literally devotion. And for women, it's called Lingam Puja, worshiping the God incarnate in a man, giving oral worship to the man, knowing that the man is God and love and God is the only reality. And when a man prostrates himself to his beloved woman, physically, she's sitting there or laying on her back as he, in his mind, says, she is Mother Goddess incarnate. And that stimulates the Kundalini energy to rise up the spine because of her polarity of her yoni, causes a magnetic rise of his Kundalini up his spine because he connects with her with his tongue. And the same holds true for our sisters when they give sacred worship to the male principle. It becomes a magnetic activation, and the man visualizes the Kundalini rising up his woman's spine as she's giving him sacred head. And the same holds true for the woman as the man is giving her sacred oral worship. The Kundalini rises up his spine. And this is known as Tantra, springboarding from sexual energy to the divine bliss, that the sea of love that all things existed in. And in Islam, there's a saying, and I hope I say it right, Ali illallah. It means that God is the only reality. Love is the only reality. Love is the only reality. So when you're dealing with Kundalini, you're touching on also Tantra. That's where it's important. Say into woman, say into the man's lingam. Many of us have been traumatized from childhood, from circumcision. Many of the sisters coming from Africa have been traumatized with female genital
Mutilation.
mutilation. And then you have trauma from childhood abuse, a premature awakening. So men chant into, when you're going to do Kundalini activation, and it's always easier when the man assists the woman in her Kundalini activation and the woman assists the man in Kundalini activation, where you actually say into the chakras one by one, starting from the crown and going all the way down. Om. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. And do that from the crown chakra, third eye, throat chakra, heart chakra, solar plexus, navel chakra, sex chakra. Imagine, my brothers, that a woman is moaning, vibrating Ho'oponopono into your Sun Ra representation. And men, you do the same for the woman from the crown and then go head on down. Om, because Om in India means I am. So you want to, through the chanting into the chakras, you clean the debris and the unresolved trauma, and through the intention of assisting her in forgiving all memories, you help activate the Kundalini.
You know, for those who don't have mates, like we're doing the Kundalini meditation, what advice would you give everybody throughout the meditation? Because each day we're going to be focusing on a different chakra to
Mm,
remove any blockages that may be in that particular chakra. So what advice would you give for that?
okay. I learned when I was studying Tantra, there's something called a fire breath. And with the fire breath family, fire breath is a rapid inhalation and exhalation. So if you by yourself, what you do is you place your hands, both hands on your sex chakra, and do the fire breath for 7 minutes. Rapid inhalation, exhalation. 7 minutes on your sex chakra. Then you move your hand up to the navel chakra. 7 minutes fire breath into the navel chakra. 7 minutes into the solar plexus. 7 minutes into the heart chakra. 7 minutes into the throat chakra. 7 minutes on the third eye. 7 minutes on the crown chakra. And if you multiply 7 times 7 equals 49, so in about 50, 55 minutes, you are so full of chi that whatever emotional blockage you may have, it will come to the surface, and you may scream in laughter, or you may express the unresolved pain. You may get messages. That is what you can do individually. Fire breathing into 7 minutes in each chakra. This is preparation so that the Kundalini is like, hey, the turbine blades are crystal clean. Let's just dance on through to the crown, circulate around, and let's accelerate crystallized bliss. Did I answer your question, Brother Rich?
Definitely, man. I mean, this is a lot of help, man. This is definitely a lot of help. Listen, I don't want to keep you too long, my brother, but I appreciate all the assistance you have given the good folks who invested in this Kundalini workshop. Why don't you, if they have any further questions, give them your contact information.
Yeah, if you have any questions, you can reach me at my website, Orgone, ORGONE, the number 4, YOU.com. You can also just email me directly, Hankh, HANK, Rising, RISING, SUNRA at gmail.com. And my YouTube channel is Magnets with an S, Crystals with an S, and Pyramids with an S. And I want to thank you, Brother Rich, for this moment of time and family. Godspeed into bliss. And I wish you, may the force of our I am be with you.
Peace, my brother.
Peace.
Ye cannot serve two masters. Why is that? Because there is only one intelligence, one presence, one power that can act, and that is the presence of God acting in me. When I turn to the world of outer manifestations and give all kinds of expressions and appearances power, I am attempting to serve a false usurping master. My ability to lift my hand and the life flowing through the nervous system of my outer form is God in action.